I'm Lexi. I'm in the US. And today, as the title of the video is probably already clued you in on, I am going to do my annual grill prep for the year, where I just make a whole bunch of marinated meats, put them in the freezer, so this summer when it's too hot to turn that stove on, I can still have a nice hot dinner by firing up the grill, pull one of these out of the freezer, thaw it out, and good to go. So the first recipe we're going to do is something that I haven't done before, but is really popular, specifically in Filipino cooking. I am going to make chicken adobo. I'm only doing this recipe with chicken. Usually I do my grill prep bags, marinades. Usually I do my grill prep marinades with more than one meat, but this one I'm only doing with chicken. Would it be good with pork or beef? Maybe. Has anyone tried that? Let me know in the comments. But I've got 2 bags of chicken here with about a pound of chicken each in them. And we are going to start. Not positive how much marinade I'm going to need, but it's going to be equal parts of soy sauce and apple cider vinegar, or you can use rice vinegar. I just have the apple cider vinegar on hand, so that's what I'm going to go with. I'm going to start with 2/3 of a cup of vinegar. Well, of soy sauce, but of vinegar too. And if I think I'm going to need some more marinade, I'll do a bit more. I guess I could have poured it right into the big container. In that goes. And then I produce a mystery spoon out of nowhere thanks to the help of editing. And I'm going to put in about 2 tablespoons of brown sugar. I'm not going to measure this out. It's just close. And a scoop of garlic. Now this becomes the garlic spoon. And a couple tablespoons of oil. Maybe just 1, whatever that looked like. About that much pepper. And then I'm going to throw 2 bay leaves in each bag. I'm just going to throw those right in. Those are small. Give this a bit of a stir. Maybe for the other marinades I'll put the garlic right in the bags too. That might work better. And that's going to be enough marinade. So I'm going to pour about half of this into each. Make sure that some of the garlic gets in each bag. And these bag holders, I had these last year. These are a lifesaver. These things are great. So if you do any kind of marinated meats or any kind of meal prep where you put the stuff in bags and you're not sure, go ahead and invest in the bag holders. They are wonderful. And I've already got all of my bags labeled Chicken Adobo 2026. I'm going to give this a squish. And then I will flatten these out and put them in the freezer. That was really easy. See, marinated meats are so easy. You think of all that flavor and think that it must take all kinds of time and all kinds of know-how, and you know, they're so simple. It's just a few ingredients, throw it in a bag, and give it some time. But, oops, almost made that one splish everywhere because I wasn't paying attention. But marinated meats are so much easier than a lot of people think they are. And now I will have 2 meals, and that took 5 minutes. It took a little longer than that to get all the meat prepped and the bags labeled, but not a significant amount of time, right? But I am gonna reset, set up for the next recipe, and I'll be right back. Welcome back. This next one is one I did last year, but I'm doing it a little bit differently, and I'm doing it a little bit easier. It's one of my favorites, and that's honey mustard, and I do it with chicken and with pork. I've got pork chops over here. Last year I made my own honey mustard, which again, super simple to make your own honey mustard. Honey, mustard, a little bit of garlic. But I have this honey mustard dipping sauce in my pantry. Don't know where it came from. Probably not gonna eat it because I don't dip anything else in honey mustard. So I'm gonna use it for this. I'm gonna taste it first though and see if I need to add any garlic. Yeah, I could use some garlic. Ooh, that is tangy. Okay, bit of garlic in each bag. I'm going a little conservative on the garlic because I don't think I have enough. If I don't have enough through all of these recipes, I do have garlic powder that I can switch to. But then I'm just gonna pour this right in. If you were gonna make your own honey mustard, just start with mustard, add honey, taste it, and see if you want it sweeter. Let's see, let's go ahead and use it all. And now this will no longer be taking up random space in my pantry. Super simple, right? And then the fun part is squelching it all around because you want the marinade to come in contact with the meat or it's not gonna transfer all that flavor. Now last year I did these in gallon-sized Ziplocs. This year I decided I wanted to try and see if they would fit in quart size, and so far everything seems to be fitting okay. For your reference, there is 1 pound of pork in this bag, which is 2 pretty thick pork chops. The chicken bags all have 3 chicken thighs in them, which is again approximately a pound of chicken, maybe a little bit more than a pound of chicken. 3 chicken thighs or 2 half-pound pork chops are fitting nicely in a bag. I am gonna reset for our next recipe. Be back in a minute. Time for recipe number 3. This is another one that I did last year and another one of my favorites. It is my maple, mustard, and soy sauce recipe. And this I'm doing with pork and with beef. So just like with the adobo, well, sort of just like with the adobo, we're gonna start with equal parts soy and maple syrup and mustard. See if I can do 2/3 of a cup again. There we go. Even got a little soy sauce left. Yes, this is the right lid. Why are you not going on? There we go. Just have to talk to it sometimes. And this is a stone ground Dijon mustard. We're using displacement here. So when the line of the soy sauce gets up to 1 1/3 cups, since I started out with 2/3 of a cup of soy, that means I know I have equal parts mustard and soy. Weren't expecting a science/math lesson here today, were ya? Then we're going to do the same thing with the maple syrup. Equal parts. And this is real maple syrup. Let me get this lid back on. The 100% pure stuff, none of that artificial breakfast flavored syrup that you can get. This is the real stuff. So yeah, it can be a little pricey, but it's worth it. Oh, my fork is in the marinade. give that a stir. I'm probably gonna add some pepper to this. You know what? I'm not even gonna taste it first. I'm gonna add some pepper to this. About that much pepper. Remember, we're doing 4 of them here. Cloves. I don't know what it is with me and getting stuff closed today. Okay. And that looks pretty good. I should get a spoon to taste this. Mm-hmm. Woo! That mustard's got a kick. That is good stuff. Okay. It doesn't need salt because of the soy sauce, but if you're using low sodium soy, you might need to add some salt. And then I am going to put a bit of garlic into each of these bags. Last year I had the garlic pucks and I just threw a puck in each one and that worked out beautifully. But this year, or last year, when the garlic harvest came in, I preserved it differently. Instead of chopping it all up, I just froze the cloves whole. I didn't have as much time. So that means I have to chop it as I need it, but it was a whole lot easier on all at once on the preserving end that I didn't have to chop it all then. But we're just gonna pour some of this in to each bag. Okay. Perfect. You know what comes next? Seal, squelch, reset. Back in a second. We are halfway through. See, I've done 3 recipes and it's only been how long? I'm only doing 6 today. Last year, I think I did 8. That was a lot last year. So the next one, I knew I wanted something Asian, but I wanted something different than I've done before. So I got on the internet and I found this Thai chicken recipe that looked good. And I decided I'm gonna try it on beef too, because why not, right? So we are going to start with a bit of garlic in each bag. For this one, I've got 1 chicken and 2 beefs. And then into our container. Sorry, I'm trying to remember this one as I go. The next ingredient was something I've never worked with before. They wanted lemongrass, and I couldn't find lemongrass. So I found this lemongrass paste, but it didn't tell me how much I could sub for it. So we're just gonna put some in and taste it and decide if I think I need more. We'll start with that. That was kind of a lot, but we'll start there. And then it wanted light soy and dark soy sauce, but the store I was at didn't have light soy sauce. So I figure we'll just go with regular and dark. I was able to get dark. It only wanted a teaspoon, but I think that it's using this as a glaze instead of a marinade in the recipe that I'm basing this on. So let's not call this following a recipe so much using it as inspiration. Inspiration is good, right? And then dark soy sauce, and it was twice as much dark soy sauce as light. So I've got half a cup. Well, that's got the lemongrass in there too, though. I can eyeball it. It'll be close, right? There we go. I'm not sure I've ever had dark soy sauce. It smells good. It smells richer. It's definitely darker than the other stuff. It was about half a cup that I had in there, including the lemongrass. So if I bring it up to 1 cup, that should be close to twice as much. And then it wanted some fish sauce. And I thought this was open. This isn't open. I know fish sauce can be kind of strong. So I'm going to be, well, that's going to be a pain in the butt. Does the top come off of this? Of course not. Of course not. So we're just going to sit here and shake some fish sauce into this. And then it also wanted some brown sugar. Wanted a fair bit of brown sugar in the original glaze because this will help make it like sticky and yummy. So let's give that a shot. So let's get this mixed and give it a taste. Okay, I'm just going to use the spoon from the brown sugar to taste it. Ooh, look how thick that is, even just on the spoon. Why did I blow on it? That is incredibly salty. Incredibly salty. I can taste the fish sauce. I can't taste the lemongrass at all, so I'm going to add more lemongrass. Because I put a fair bit in to start with, and I'm not tasting it at all, I'm going to put the rest in, and hopefully I won't regret that. I've never cooked with lemongrass before at all, so I don't know if it's maybe one of those things that once it sits, it gets stronger. We're doing that a lot recently on the channel. I ate kohlrabi for the first time recently, and now I'm having lemongrass for the first time. Okay, that's the whole tube. Get this mixed. You know what? I'm gonna go ahead and add the rest of that sugar too. That might help with the sweetness a little bit, or the saltiness. Is dark soy sauce saltier than regular? Because, or maybe it's in the fish sauce, but this is very salty. Okay, I'm going to use the back side of the spoon this time. I can taste the lemongrass this time. And the extra sugar did help balance out the salty a bit. So I'm going to call that good. And make myself a little space here. And then pour this. How much do I have? Okay. Pour this into our 3 containers. 3 bags. That's what these are called. They're bags. I don't know. I'm supposed to be good with words, right? Okay. So, that's 4 recipes down. 2 to go. I'm going to reset, and I'll see you back here in a minute. Bye. Okay, so we've got another one I've never done before. I really like ordering shawarma when I go out to eat, but I've never tried to make it before. I did not do this in a manner that makes sense. So I thought I'd try and make a shawarma style marinade. That is not what I want to do yet, to grill. And I know that's not 100%, there is a guard on this. 100% authentic, but I can get a little creative, right? Again, we're going with not so much that I'm following recipes as I'm being inspired by them. So I'm going to peel the zest off of this lemon. And if you would rather zest the lemon into the marinade itself, you can do that. But I'm going to do this and put the pieces in the bag. That way I can pull them out when it's time to cook. Boop, boop. Beef has a little stronger flavor. I'm doing 2 chickens and a beef for this. Where is my, well, we'll just use this smaller one. I don't know where my jug went. And then the juice for this lemon is gonna go in here for the marinade. Huh, no seeds in that. Am I even in shot? I don't think I am here. I'm sorry. Now that I've got the lemon cut, though, I can move the cutting board and adjust. Okay. Other half of the lemon. Right into the jug. Yeah, I do own one of those things that you put the lemons in and you squeeze it together and you get the lemon juice out, and I didn't bring it with me. One seed. There's one seed in that whole lemon. That's kind of cool. Let me rinse my hands. Okay, so next I'm going to put a bit of olive oil. And again, I am using this as inspiration, using the recipe as inspiration for the flavors. So I'm not sure what this marinade is going to look like as we go. We're going to add some oregano. You know what? I am going to look at the amounts, where's my phone, that the recipe recommends for the spices, because there's a lot of spices here. That is the one we just did. Whoever invented the jump to recipe button, thank you. Olive oil, lemon zest, lemon, garlic, we'll put that right in the bags, 2 teaspoons of coriander. One, 2. 2 teaspoons of cumin. Guess we're following this a little more than I anticipated. Little bit of cinnamon. I might end up having to juice another lemon, a little more cinnamon, in order to have enough liquid for this. We'll find out. Bit of turmeric. It says a teaspoon of turmeric. That's all I've got. Just going to put it all in. About a half teaspoon of ginger. That's this one. I know it says dill on top. It says ginger on the front. That might have been a lot. Some cayenne pepper. That's this one here. I'm going to take it kind of easy on that because I know cayenne pepper gets real spicy real fast. There, some cayenne. Cardamom. Cardamom. Apparently haven't used this before. It still has the shaker on it. How much cardamom? 1/4 teaspoon, not too much. And some black pepper. And excuse me as I reach past you to get some salt. Gonna give this a stir. I really don't want to add another lemon to this because that's going to be super lemony. I think I'll just add some more oil. That looks good. Look at that. A lot of flavor in there. Give this a taste. Yeah, I think I'm right in not wanting to add another lemon, but there's a ton of flavor in that. So I am going to add my garlic. I might actually end up with enough garlic for all of these. And then distribute this evenly. And that's 5 recipes down. I'm gonna reset and we are going to do the one that I think is the most fun coming up. So I'll be right back. So last year, I did what I was calling pantry marinade, where since part of the reason I want to do this is to show you how easy it is to impart a lot of flavor into your meat, and that you don't necessarily have to have a lot of specialized ingredients. Last year, I just went into my pantry and found some stuff. And I did the same thing this year. I went into this with no game plan at all. I went through my pantry and I picked out a few things. Not positive we're gonna use all these, but I figured let's see how it comes out. Last year it came out pretty good. I am starting with this random shish kebab marinade, which I know it's a marinade in the first place. Starting with a marinade is cheating, but it was in the pantry. It's taking up space. Let's use it up, right? Let's get it open, right? Hang on. I had to get help getting the jar open. See what this smells like. Okay. I think there's a lot of paprika in here. Let's go ahead and just pour it in. And then I'll give it a taste. Cumin, tomato, paprika, something spicy. Not too spicy. Onion. It's pretty good. It's a good starting point. Okay, and then I've got swine wine, which is a vinegar barbecue additive. This stuff's kind of spicy. It's really good on pulled pork. It's kind of like the vinegar that Old Carolina has. I'm gonna just pour in some of that. And then I think I've got some HP sauce here. I think I'm gonna throw some of that in too. HP sauce is also called brown sauce. It's a British condiment. Why is this not wanting to come out? I don't want to shake too hard and just have it go everywhere. There we go. A couple tablespoons of this. I've tried it before. It's okay. I'm just never quite sure what I should put it on. Give this a mix. Do the back of the spoon thing to taste it, see if I want to add anything else. Whew, the swine wine, that's quite a kick to that. Good amount of vinegar. I think I want some more HP though. See, you can just take some things and mix them together and you've got a marinade. Okay. I'm gonna add the rest of this garlic to my 3 bags. I've got 1 chicken, 1 beef, 1 pork here because I wanted to give every possible meat a try. Give it another taste. That's better. The HP wasn't coming through before. There's a sink behind the camera. So I'm going to pour this in, just like we've done before. And that's all there is to it. So, how long did that take us? Not real long, right? And I know that there's a certain YouTube magic that's edited things out, but this is still doable on your average weekend day. I mean, I did it on my average weekend day. And now I have lost track of how much, but this many meals in the freezer that will last me all summer because, and you know, I'm pretty sure I told this joke last year, but I don't know what it is, but when that thermometer hits 90 degrees, and I don't know what causes this, and the repair guys can't tell me either, but when the temperature hits 90 degrees, my stove and oven just don't seem to work. So I have all of this meat prepped that will last me through the summer, and maybe even a few extras that I can just throw on the skillet this fall. Who knows what'll happen? But that's all I've got for today. So if you enjoyed the video, if you could give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already, I'd really appreciate it. And as always, I'll see you next time. Bye.